What's going on, people? I'm back. It's your boy Nando, and this is the Pound for Pound Boxing Show in association of Dirty South and IQ Boxing. We're going back live in the bubble. Yesterday we had Sam Jones. Today, heavyweight prospect Johnny Fisher making his pro debut this Saturday on the Kelly Avanesyan undercards. We're just waiting for Johnny to come on. I think he's back on. He's on right now.
Right, Nando.
How you doing, Johnny?
Yeah, good, mate. How are you?
How you doing, mate? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now. Can you hear me? Hang on.
Yeah, not bad. Hold on,
There we go.
it's a little second. Let me see if I can fix my one. Can you hear me properly?
Yeah, I've got you. Got you loud and clear. Can you hear me?
Yeah, all good. Thank you for taking your time to speak to us, mate.
No worries, mate. Thank you for having me on.
Anytime, anytime. I'm looking forward to this pro debut. First question I just want to ask, has it sunk in yet? You know, Matchroom, Sky Sports, has it hit you yet? Like, I'm here, I'm in the big time now, making my pro debut.
Last night when I saw my little poster up on the wall and next to all these other great boxers who I one day hope to be on their level, it hits you then. That's when it hit me. But listen, I've got to try and put all them things out of my mind. At the end of the day, all I've got to do on Saturday is one man versus another man, two heavyweights, and then it's no different to any other fight. If you had a fight on an amateur circuit or on a professional circuit, it's still a fight.
Amazing. Know much about your opponent?
No, all I know is he's very tough and durable. He's never been knocked out clean in all his fights. The refs have stepped in. He's very durable. He comes to win. He's not just a normal journeyman. He'll come to win, and he's got a bit of ambition about him as well. So I'm expecting a tough fight from that Gordon.
Obviously, yesterday I spoke to Sam. He had nothing but great things to speak about you. He said you got a great story behind you. He spoke about how you were doing your dissertation in Vegas.
Yeah.
You were sparring Guido, and obviously you've obviously sparred the big man himself, Joyce. First of all, what was it like when? Because obviously you messaged Sam and said, "Does Joyce need a sparring partner for Dubois?" And tell me your reaction when he got back to you, and he said, "Yeah."
Well, the only other pro I'd sparred before then was Dave Allen. I had a tough 6 rounds with Dave Allen. I done well. I held my own, but I just knew I wasn't training like a boxer then. I was training like a rugby player at that point. I was still fit, but it's different, completely different. But I've done 6 rounds with Dave, and then when I was told to spar with Joe, that I could go and spar with Joe, it was unbelievable. I only done a couple of rounds with him. Then I came back again and sparred a couple more, then a couple more. And then I got invited out to Vegas, and that was unreal. And that was sort of, we didn't think we was going to turn pro with Sam then or have any inkling of that, but that was when it was like the beginning of the journey, really.
Tell us, what's it like sparring with Joyce? Does he hit as hard as it look on TV?
Mate, he hits hard. He's heavy-handed. He's like a George Foreman type. If you think about him, when George Foreman fought, you look at his punches and you think he's not even putting any effort into them. When Joe does it as well, it's similar. He's a great man, and he's really given me some great rounds and great experience, and he's a good friend of mine now.
Also, what was the feeling like? Because I read an interview about yourself. You said that Joe told you afterwards you hit harder than.
Yeah, that was really nice of him to say that. And I train with Daniel Dubois now. Hopefully, he's joining Mark Tibbs, who I'm trained by as well. And to have someone compare me even to Daniel Dubois at this stage, I'm really grateful and I'm honoured because he's obviously levels above me at the minute. And listen, hopefully I'll be on that level one day. But to have that sort of comparison and know that Joe feels my power, because Joe's got an unbelievable chin. So it gives me good confidence going into these fights.
Obviously, you're going to pick Joe, but your prediction, can he stop using if this fight happens?
Yeah, I think he does. Over 5 rounds when he fought him before, when he was a lot younger, he's matured a lot more now, Joe. But over 12 rounds is a different story, complete different story. Can you keep an 18 stone, 6'6" man off you for more than 12 rounds? For 12 rounds, it's going to be unbelievable to watch. Usyk, obviously, great skilled boxer, but at heavyweight, has he got the same sting? We don't know.
What's it like being in camp with a legendary coach like Mark Tibbs with such a great experience?
Oh, it's unbelievable to be in camp with him. I've been doing a lot of training with Jimmy Tibbs as well. He's obviously an even bigger legend than what Mark is at the minute. So to have the experience with him and my great coach Steve Andrews in the bubble with me. So I've got a great team around me. I've got great managers, great trainers, and the best promoter in the game. So I'm in a very, very fortunate position.
I read that your dad used to box as well, and even your granddad as well. Apart
Yeah,
from obviously people that you looked up to, is there anyone pro level that you grew up admiring?
Lennox Lewis, always say it. Lennox Lewis, my favourite. You can't get much better than Lennox Lewis. He messaged me today as well, wishing me good luck.
Wow,
And he said to me, actually, a really good quote. He said, "This is what I live by, John, and I think this is what will help you. The more I prepare, the less I worry." And I thought that makes so much sense. He messaged me a few months back as well and said, "Really looking forward to seeing your progress." And obviously, he's a legend, so it's going to be unreal.
that must be amazing. You haven't even made your pro debut, and Lennox Lewis knows who you are. That feeling must be the same levels as seeing your poster there. I can't
Yeah,
imagine.
it's just like I pinch myself a little bit because 6 months ago I had no dream of being on Matchroom or doing anything. I didn't know what I was going to be doing really. I was training like I'm a boxer. I was training like one, but now it's just like everything's falling into place. All I've got to do now is make it count on Saturday.
Tell us, obviously you used to play rugby. You went to Exeter Uni, right?
Yeah, yeah. Exeter University, yeah.
Tell us the difference between the training between boxing, becoming a pro, and obviously playing rugby.
When I played rugby, it's still like a really good pro setup at Exeter Uni because they feed into Exeter Chiefs, and we all, even down to the second teams and the freshers first teams, they had gym programs for us. So it was like living like a professional athlete at some points. I know obviously some of the rugby boys don't want to have a professional lifestyle. They mix both together, and they're both really good. But for me, it's good for me because it gave me that little taste of what strength and conditioning is like, and living to a diet and trying to hit certain calorie goals and stuff like that. So I had a great time there, and the physical side of it obviously carries straight over. So when I'm in them clinches, I like to rough it up a little bit.
What's it like being making your pro debut on a big card like Avanesyan versus Joyce?
Oh, it's unbelievable, absolutely unbelievable. Josh Kelly, I've seen him about when Joyce used to be with Adam Booth. I used to see him up the gym, like doing all his training and stuff. And to now think that I'm on his undercard is magical, but it means nothing unless I win on Saturday.
Do you have a prediction for the main event?
I think Josh Kelly's got the skills to beat him. David Avanesyan is a great. He's fought at world level. He's obviously going to be a very difficult opponent for Josh Kelly to beat. But the skill set that Josh Kelly's got is second to none. So it's just about whether he can execute on the night now.
Obviously, I'm not one to ask people to obviously to call someone out, but just on a respectful level, is there anyone that obviously getting past Saturday that you look at maybe domestically? Do you look at anyone and think, you know what, I would love to share the ring with them in the future?
If I'm being honestly, my honest opinion at the minute, I have not thought about anyone else apart from Matt Gordon for the last 2 months. That's all I've thought about. Matt Gordon, Matt Gordon, Matt Gordon. And I'm going to beat him, hopefully, on Saturday if I put the right effort in and I stay controlled and relaxed. But obviously, there are names out there you've got to think of. There's plenty of names out there. There's great boxers who I respect all of them. Fabio Wardley, David Adelaide, Alan Babbage. These are all great fighters that a year down the line, 18 months down the line, they'll start saying, right, you've got to see what you can do with these boys now. But for the minute, I'm on my own journey and I've got to focus on what I've got to do. And right now, all I've got to do is win against Matt Gordon on Saturday.
Another box I want to bring up to you is someone that is part of Sam's stable as well, is Solomon Dacres.
Yeah,
How is he the real deal? Because obviously he's going to make his pro debut, and I asked Sam this yesterday and said he's straight away going into deep waters and calling out people like Lovejoy, Babbage, for example. Is he the real deal?
yeah. Like, listen, Chris Solomon's been at GB level. He's a great amateur and he's got great experience. I've not seen much of him, but Sam Jones is a great judge of character, and he said he's very good. And I've seen him spar Joe a couple of times actually, and he's done really well. So I think he can go all the way. We don't know how far we're all going to go because we're just beginning our careers, but he's had great experience and he's shown he can do it at the top.
Do you think the obviously some people, whether they're amateur or they got the experience in the pros, obviously they fought in front of a crowd. Do you think right now the way things are going, there's no crowd, can it affect some boxers? Has that played on your mind at all, or it's just another fight?
No, I've fought in front of good crowds down at my university. I sold 500 tickets for one of who's in the crowd. You just got to get the job done.
Brilliant. I ask I ask all my my guests this because obviously it's going to be one of the biggest fights in probably ever. Anthony Joshua, Tyson Fury.
Yeah,
Obviously, you being in the heavyweight division,
yeah.
how excited are you for this fight, and what is your prediction?
So excited, like everyone wants to see it. It's going to be an era-defining fight. It's going to determine who is the king of that era of the Joshuas, the Wilders, the Furies, the Dillian Whites. Who's the king of that pile? For me, I'm a Tyson Fury fan and always have been and always will be. But I still think he's got the skill set. I'm thinking of it in impartial view. He's got the skill set. If Tyson Fury turns up, the best version of Tyson Fury beats the best version of Joshua. But that doesn't mean that's not how it always plays out, because Tyson Fury can have off days, Joshua can have off days. But what I'm saying is Tyson Fury is the man. That's who I think is going to win. Doesn't mean Joshua's not got a chance. He's a fantastic athlete, huge discipline and dedication to his sport. So it's going to be an intriguing one. But for me, Fury is the man.
The great thing about this fight as well is some people realize is whether this happens in front of a crowd or not, we're going to get a rematch, and hopefully we can have it at Wembley Stadium, packed out crowd. So we get two great fights. So it's going to be unbelievable.
Yeah, it's going to be brilliant. If it gets a packed out 90,000 crowd at Wembley, that's the dream. That'll be like the coming out of lockdown dream, wouldn't it? It'd be brilliant.
With Johnny Fisher on the undercard.
Oh, that'd be top it all off, wouldn't it? But listen, Saturday night is the night that I've got to focus on.
100%. Johnny, listen, I want to say thank you for taking your time to speak to me today. I wish you nothing but the best of luck for Saturday in your whole career. And after Saturday, when you do the job, we speak again.
Yeah, definitely, Nando. Thank you very much for all your time, and I wish you all the best as well.
No problem. Stay safe, champ.
Thank you very much. See ya.
Take care. Bye-bye.